Ever heard the story of the general who led war elephants across the Alps to attack Rome? Sounds like something out of a fantasy novel, but it actually happened. This is the story of Hannibal Barca, a military genius whose audacity nearly brought the Roman Republic to its knees. His legendary march across the mountains is one of the most daring and astonishing feats in all of military history. Our story begins not in the snowy peaks of the Alps, but decades earlier, in the aftermath of the First Punic War. Carthage, a powerful maritime empire in modern-day Tunisia, had been defeated by Rome and forced into a humiliating peace treaty. A young boy named Hannibal, son of the great Carthaginian general Hamilcar Barca, was taken to a temple. There, his father made him swear a solemn oath. To be an eternal enemy of Rome, this childhood promise would shape the rest of his life and set in motion a chain of events that would shake the ancient world. Years later, Hannibal is the commander of Carthage's army in Spain. The Second Punic War has just begun, and Rome expects the fight to be at sea, where their navy is dominant. They're preparing to invade North Africa and Spain, confident they can take the war to Carthage. But Hannibal has a different idea, a plan so bold, so utterly insane, that no Roman could ever predict it. He won't challenge their navy. He won't wait for them to come to him. Instead, he will do the unthinkable. He will take the war to Italy itself, by land. His plan is to march his entire army from Spain through southern Gaul, which is modern-day France, and then over the massive, treacherous barrier of the Alps. Descending into the heart of Roman territory, it was a logistical nightmare, a route considered impassable for a large army. But for Hannibal, the element of surprise was everything. He believed that if he could appear in Italy as if from nowhere, the psychological shock alone would give him a massive advantage. In 218 BC, he set out from his base at New Carthage in Spain. The scale of his army was staggering. Imagine this colossal caravan snaking its way across the landscape. Nearly 40,000 infantry soldiers, 12,000 highly skilled cavalrymen, and the stars of the show, 37 war elephants. These weren't the giant African elephants we think of today. They were likely a now extinct species called the North African forest elephant, smaller and more manageable, but still a terrifying and awe-inspiring sight for anyone who had never seen one. Just getting this force to the foot of the Alps was a challenge. Hannibal had to fight his way through hostile tribes in northern Spain and southern Gaul. Crossing the mighty Rhine River was his first major obstacle. The river was wide and fast, and the elephants were terrified of the water. So what did he do? He ordered his engineers to build massive rafts, covered them with earth and branches to make them look like solid ground, and cleverly tricked the elephants into walking onto them. It was a brilliant piece of engineering and animal psychology that showed just how resourceful Hannibal was. But the rain was just a warm-up. The real test lay ahead: the Alps. As the army began its ascent, the weather turned. The paths became narrow, slippery, and treacherous. They were climbing into a world of ice, snow, and sheer cliffs. The soldiers, mostly from the warm climates of Africa and Spain, were ill-equipped for the brutal cold. They suffered from frostbite, exhaustion, and altitude sickness. And it wasn't just the environment that was hostile. The mountain passes were home to fierce Celtic tribes who saw Hannibal's army as invaders. They launched constant ambushes from the high ground, rolling massive boulders down onto the marching column and showering them with arrows. Men and pack animals would lose their footing on the icy paths and plunge thousands of feet into the ravines below. The army was bleeding soldiers every single day. One of the most famous stories from the crossing showcases Hannibal's incredible ingenuity. At one point, their path was completely blocked by a massive rockfall. There was no way around it. A lesser general might have turned back, but not Hannibal. He ordered his men to build a huge bonfire against the rock, heating it until it was red hot. Then they doused the scorching stone with sour wine or vinegar. The sudden change in temperature caused the rock to crack and shatter, allowing his engineers to clear a path. It's a testament to his problem-solving skills, using basic science to overcome an impossible obstacle. After 15 grueling days, what was left of Hannibal's army finally stumbled out of the mountains and into the Po Valley of northern Italy. The cost of the crossing had been devastating. He had lost as much as half of his infantry and cavalry, and many of his precious elephants had perished in the cold or fallen from the cliffs. He arrived in Italy with a battered, exhausted, and severely depleted force, but he had succeeded. The Romans were in a state of absolute shock. An enemy army, complete with elephants, had just appeared on their doorstep, seemingly out of thin air. They had been preparing for a war in Africa, and now the enemy was in their backyard. The psychological impact was immense. Panic gripped the Senate. How could this have happened? Hannibal immediately capitalized on this confusion. His exhausted army, now bolstered by allied Gauls who hated the Romans, met the first Roman legions sent to stop them at the Battle of the Trebia. Despite being outnumbered, Hannibal's tactical brilliance won the day. He used the terrain, the weather, and his superior cavalry to encircle and destroy the Roman force. This was just the beginning. The following year, he ambushed and annihilated another entire Roman army at the Battle of Lake Trasimene, one of the largest and most successful ambushes in military history. Then, in 216 BC, came his masterpiece, the Battle of Cannae. Facing a Roman army of unprecedented size, nearly 80,000 men, Hannibal used a tactic of a deliberately weak center and strong flanks to envelop and completely slaughter them. It remains a textbook example of a perfect battle of annihilation, studied by military leaders to this day. After Cannae, it seemed like Rome was finished. Hannibal had destroyed army after army. So why didn't he march on the city of Rome and end the war? This is one of history's great what-ifs. The truth is, Hannibal lacked the two things he needed most: siege equipment and reinforcements. His army was built for mobile warfare, not for long, grinding sieges against a heavily fortified city like Rome. He had also hoped that Rome's allies in Italy would defect to his side after his stunning victories, but most remained loyal. While Hannibal was stuck in Italy, unable to deliver the final blow, a young Roman general named Scipio Africanus learned from Hannibal's tactics. Instead of fighting Hannibal directly in Italy, Scipio did something brilliant. He took a Roman army and invaded Carthage's home turf in North Africa. This forced the Carthaginian government to recall Hannibal from Italy to defend their homeland. The final showdown came at the Battle of Zama, where Scipio, using tactics inspired by Hannibal himself, finally defeated the great Carthaginian general. The Second Punic War was over, and Rome was the undisputed master of the Mediterranean. Despite his ultimate defeat, Hannibal's legacy was secure. The march across the Alps became a legend, a story told and retold for centuries. It stands as a timeless symbol of what is possible when strategic genius is combined with unwavering determination and a willingness to take incredible risks. Hannibal Barca may not have destroyed Rome, but he terrified it, and in doing so, he carved his name into the annals of history as one of the greatest military commanders who ever lived. His journey proves that sometimes the most audacious plan is the one that changes the world. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into ancient history, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories of incredible feats and legendary figures. See you next time.